9 o'clock. Oh, इतने सुबह सवेरे शहरी के वक्त.
जी
मैं क्या इतने सुबह सवेरे शहरी के वक्त.
सर सर शादी हो गई है तो फिर अब उठना पड़ता है.
Okay, that's one point. Yes. What about you, Mariam?
फिर मैं सोती ही 1-2 बजे हूँ और उसके बाद से 11 o'clock या 12 बजे इस तरह.
Okay, yes. That is
सर
more
ये
like my schedule.
यस सर ये जो पबजी आ गई है, इसने सारी रूटीन खराब कर दी है. पबजी
आप लोग अच्छा, that's interesting.
सर बट आज क्लास नहीं थी 8 बजे तो 8 बजे से आंख खुली. पता नहीं. और जिस दिन
You've been
क्लास
up
होती है
since. Okay. I posted the attendance. Interestingly, last class की attendance जो है ना, we had 6 people in the class, I think, and all 17 have done the attendance.
ये सर उन्होंने रात को ही मार्क कर दी थी प्रेजेंट.
Yeah, but where is the rest of the guys today?
Bob is coming.
Haji, welcome guys. Who else is here? Haris, how's it going?
हेलो सर, अस्सलाम वालेकुम.
वालेकुम सलाम. क्या हाल है हारिस?
मैं ठीक ठाक सर, आप कैसे हैं?
बस साले मैं कह रहा सुबह सवेरे शहरी क्यों जाग गए यार?
बस सर आपने जगा दिया. 11 बजे क्लास थी आपकी.
यार मैं क्या कह सकता हूँ, यूनिवर्सिटी वालों ने आपके लिए स्पेशल टाइम स्केड्यूल रखा हुआ है.
बिल्कुल
सुबह
सर.
8 और 11 बजे.
सर टाइमिंग चेंज नहीं हो सकती?
I suppose we can if we get the whole class to agree. And there's only 17
4
people.
बजे की टाइमिंग रख लें.
So we could definitely work on changing the timing. आज कैसे भी they've got an extra long class. It goes from 11 to 2:45. It goes from 11 o'clock in the morning till 2:45. So we'll do something about it. I posted on the announcement an invitation to join an international summit. How many of you have signed up for that? I know Mariam has signed up. Okay, Umar says he signed up. Takwa, did you sign up?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Bilal, यार आपका माइक जो अभी भी सही नहीं हुआ बिलाल. We cannot hear you. And for today's class, I needed everybody to turn on their cameras so I know exactly who's coming to class. मुझे पता है मरियम की छोटी बहन जो है ना, आवाज बिल्कुल एक जैसी है, तो पता चले मरियम की छोटी बहन को. How's it going, मरियम? अच्छा, now I know it's you. ये भी हो सकता है ना, छोटी बहन भाई को कहते यार जाके क्लास अटेंड कर लेना, सुबह सवेरे मैंने नहीं जागना.
सेमेस्टर में ऐसे हुआ था.
आपने किया था?
मैंने 1-2 क्लासेस में अपनी सिस्टर को ज्वाइन करके दे दिया था.
क्या बात है, देखिए पता चल जाता है. She's studying at which university, your sister?
She's studying in University of Bath.
Okay. See, you got friends, you got cousins, you got brothers, sisters who are studying in other universities. They can easily go and join the class. जी वेलकम गाइस. मोहम्मद बिलाल, आपने खाली दीवार की तस्वीर लगाई हुई है यार.
हेलो.
हाँ जी बिलाल, आपकी आवाज आ रही है यार।
जी सर, आ रही है मेरी आवाज?
आ रही है यार आपकी आवाज। यार आप लोग एक सेकंड होल्ड करें। आई एम गोना मूव टू अ प्लेस जिधर मेरा वाईफाई जो है ना थोड़ा सा बेहतर होगा, ठीक है ना? बिकॉज हियर द वाईफाई इज नॉट all that great, so I'm just gonna get up and I'm gonna move to the other location. ये भी काफी इंटरेस्टिंग साइंस होता है। अब लैपटॉप उठा के ना कभी इधर जाते हैं कभी उधर जाते हैं, देखते हैं कि वाईफाई किधर सही आ रहा है। वो पुराने जमाने में टीवी के साथ एंटेना होते थे। इफ यू गाइस, आई डोंट नो इफ यू रिमेंबर, anybody had an experience with that?
यस सर, बड़े बताते थे पिंड गेम में।
ये सर वो छत पे जाके सर वो
उसके
छत
साथ
पे
भी यही
जाके
होता
करते
था
होते।
उसके साथ भी यही होता था कि you had to move your antenna around, फिर नीचे से आवाज आती थी, नहीं हुआ रिसेप्शन, फिर से चेंज करो। you kept on changing the reception, you know, around. यहाँ पर आजकल वही काम हो रहा है कि हम जो है ना वाईफाई चेक करने के लिए ना कभी लैपटॉप इधर लेके जाते हैं कभी उधर लेके जाते हैं। Does that happen to everybody else also, or is it just me कि जी वो रिसेप्शन कभी एक जगह पे अच्छी आ रही है कभी दूसरी जगह पे अच्छी आ रही है?
तो यहाँ तो इंटरनेट कनेक्शन बेस्ट है।
हाँ जी वो बीन, आई सी यू यार, गुड। Win is the only other person who turns on the Wi-Fi, and I'm going to put on my nice camera today. I think it should be okay. Okay, I think I've got a better reception here now. Just trying to see what's happening with this thingy. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So good morning. आज आप लोगों ने, you guys have to turn on your cameras. I need to see it is you and not your brother or sister who's joining the class. Mubin ko to we see. Okay, good. Mariam we see. Who else? Yes, let's go guys. हारिस भाई, मुझे लगता है हारिस ने फोन करके ना अस्सलाम वालेकुम करके ना ये चला गया नाश्ता खाने के लिए।
नहीं सर, मैं इधर ही हूँ।
इधर ही है, खैर है, नाश्ता भी
जाग
करें
रहा है।
यार। देखिए मैंने भी कॉफी रखी हुई है, हलवा पूरी
क्या
आप खाएं,
बात।
खैर है, कोई मसला नहीं है यार।
सर क्लास के बाद ही नाश्ता करेंगे।
क्लास के बाद तो फिर लंच के टाइम हो जाएगा यार।
सर वो एक
नाश्ते के
साथ
टाइम
ही
तो नहीं
होता है।
रहे।
छुट्टियों में सर लंच और छुट्टियों में सर लंच और वो नाश्ता एक साथ ही होता है।
अच्छा, ब्रंच अब खाते हैं?
बिल्कुल सर, अब तो आदत हो गई सर, छुट्टियां इतनी दी हैं कोरोना की वजह से।
ओके, दैट्स गुड। सी दिस इज ऑल कंज्यूमर बिहेवियर। कैमरा तो ऑन करो ना यार, अब हम की शक्ल देखने जाते हैं।
यस सर।
जिनको सर कैमरा फोबिया है वो क्या करें?
क्यों कैमरा फोबिया यार? इंस्टाग्राम में तो 50,000 आप लोग सेल्फी पोस्ट कर रहे होते हैं।
सर वो एडिट होती हैं।
सर ये एडिट होती है सर। अच्छा
इसमें भी
दूसरा
होगा
सर,
ना कोई ना कोई
ये वाईफाई
स्नैपचैट
जो
वाले
है
फीचर।
इसका कनेक्शन और खराब हो जाएगा अगर वीडियोस पे सारे आए तो।
यस सर।
भी हो जाएगा।
अच्छा, एक एक करके ऑन करके फिर थोड़ी देर बाद ऑफ कर देना ताकि हमें पता चले कि आप लोग ही हैं, कोई और तो नहीं है।
हम ही हैं।
छोटू को तो नहीं
सर
बिठाया हुआ?
सर हम ही
गारंटी है सर, हम ही आपको जो पूछना हुआ बात करना वो कर लें सर।
मुझे पता है कि आप लोग जो है ना छोटे बहन भाइयों को, नौकर को कह दिया यार ओ जरा जाके क्लास अटेंड करना सीबी की, बता दे रहा
बहन भाई
क्या
नहीं
हो रहा है क्लास में। रुबाब ने मुझे लगता है मासी को बिठाया है अपनी, वो जो काम वाली मासी ने उसको कह दिया कि जाके सीबी की तरह क्लास अटेंड करना। मैं 1 बजे उठूंगी फिर जाके क्लास ज्वाइन करूंगी।
900 में खुद ही हूँ।
सही कह रहे हो ना मुबीन नोस दिस है ना, लोग यही करते हैं ना. Last class I showed you that video, no?
Yes,
दानिश
sir.
अली की. Yes.
Yes, sir.
तो पता चले कोई शावर में बैठा हो, कोई क्या कर रहे हो. We don't know what's happening.
इधर ही है सर, इधर ही है.
वो कौन था लास्ट क्लास जो गाड़ी में बैठ के वो आलू काट रहा था?
शुएब था सर, वो आ जाएगा अभी
शुएब
शायद
बस
थोड़ी देर में.
अच्छा, उसने कहा कि आज
सर वो
आलू
जा
पहले काट के फिर बाद में.
नहीं सर, आज वो काट के आएगा इंशाल्लाह.
I shared with you guys an important link. Some of you have signed up. I don't know about the rest of you. This is an online conference. If you go in the classroom under the announcements. So under the announcements, I put up this thing, which is it's an online summit on customer experience management. वैसे तो it's like a West African summit. It's called the West African Customer Experience Summit. But speakers are from everywhere. One of the speakers that I think you should listen to is a lady called Claire Muscat. She was the I think marketing director or manager or something for Marks and Spencers and Premier Hotels and so on and so forth. So she'll be speaking at the event. Then you've got people coming in from South Africa, Tunisia, Ghana, and so on and so forth. And the interesting thing is that the participants are going to be from all over the world. So far, the people who have registered, you know, they're from Algeria, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, which is Ivory Coast, France, Gambia, Ghana, India, Kenya, Nigeria, Pakistan से आप लोगों ने किया होगा, Rwanda, Senegal, Sierra Leone, South Africa, Spain, UAE, US, and Zimbabwe. So it's like a big international conference online. I would highly recommend you guys to sign up. It's free, totally free. Usually, when these are done, you know, in person, face to face, so they charge a lot of money for these conferences. Number one, and number two, obviously, to attend it, then you have to apply for visa, flight, you know, hotels. It becomes very costly. So this is one benefit of you know, coronavirus. You can attend a lot of these events. It starts at 1 o'clock West Africa time. 1 o'clock West Africa time का मतलब 4 बजे Pakistan time. So 4 o'clock Pakistan time is the event, right? रुबाब रुबाब की मेट जो बैठी हुई है, आपने रुबाब को बताना है कि उन्होंने साइन अप करना है इसके लिए. आपने रुबाब बाजी को बता देना है कि उन्होंने कॉन्फ्रेंस अटेंड करनी है 4 बजे आज. आवाज ब्रेक हो रही है. देखें आवाज, शी डिडंट रिप्लाई ना, इसका मतलब है देयर इज समथिंग फिशी गोइंग ऑन हियर. पता चल गया, you know, it's experience, you know, we can tell. So if you are free at 4 o'clock today, sign up for this. Consequently, what we will do is जो आज हाँ जी, हमें तो नहीं पता चला कि बोल रही है ना, राइट? ओके. क्यों बिलाल यार, तुम्हारी तस्वीर भी नहीं आ रही?
सर मेरी आवाज नहीं आ रही?
नहीं, तस्वीर नहीं आ रही. मैंने कहा तुमने किसको बिठाया है अपनी जगह
सर
पे?
आवाज आ रही है मेरी?
आवाज तो आ रही है, लेकिन आपने किसको बिठाया यार अपनी जगह पे?
सर आप मेरी आवाज से जज कर ले मैं कैसा हूँ.
आपका जो है ना, मुझे लगता है आपने छोटे कजन को बिठाया है.
नहीं सर, मैं खुद ही हूँ।
खाला का बेटा जो है ना, छोटा 9th क्लास में जो है, right? उसको कह दिया कि यार तुम्हारे साथ आज क्रिकेट में ना तुम्हें जो है ना कैप्टन बनाएंगे, तुमने आज क्लास अटेंड करनी है मेरी।
नहीं सर। सर नाइस कप।
थैंक यू यार। I'm a coffee person actually in the morning. So let's talk about that. Yes, coffee, and because this is one of the key things in consumer behavior, right? Um, Consumer behavior, as we know, it is about studying the behavior of customers, right? How do customers behave? But more than that, we want to also work from a marketing perspective, from a company perspective. We want to be able to change the behavior of our customers, right? I'm gonna mute some of you guys' mics, so when you guys want to speak, then you guys can unmute yourself, right? Because I think I'm hearing a little bit of echo in there. ऐसे भी छोटुओं को बिठाया हुआ है आप लोगों ने सबने, right? खुद तो है नहीं. Okay, so consumer behavior is it's about finding out how customers behave, how customers think, how customers purchase products and services for themselves or for their family members, or it could be, if you're talking about a B2B scenario, it could be for a business. It's important from a business perspective because if we know how customers are behaving, how customers are thinking, we can then modify that, we can change that, we can, you know, target our advertising, we can modify our products accordingly. Okay, so a lot of the things we will be talking about in this class, वो ऐसे लगेगा ऐसे ही हम गपशप लगा रहे हैं, लेकिन it's all linked to consumer behavior. So talking about the coffee business, right? Just quickly, how many people here drink coffee? Okay, Mobeen is one. You can unmute yourself and then you can talk. I just muted everybody. You can just click on that mic. नीचे mic का signal जा रहा होगा. You can unmute yourself and then you can talk. Who else drinks coffee? सभी सो गए यार.
कोई नहीं.
Mariam, do you drink coffee?
No sir, I drink milkshake.
Milkshake. अच्छा. सुबह नाश्ते में चाय नहीं पीती?
No sir.
No.
समर्स में तो
Okay.
बिल्कुल भी नहीं, और विंटर्स.
Okay, that's cool. Taqwa, what about you?
Sir, coffee winter
tea.
must है. Coffee, चाय नहीं पीती.
Acha, this is just for breakfast, yeah, like throughout the day.
Throughout the day.
Okay, so you're more of a coffee person. Okay, good. Bilal, Billy Bob.
Yes sir. Azim.
Yeah, Billy Bob, do you drink tea or coffee?
Sir, cold coffee.
Cold coffee. Acha, good.
Yes sir.
Once in a while, yeah, like regularly every day.
बस सर कोई पिला दे तो पी लेता हूँ.
अच्छा. इसका मतलब है आपने उन लोगों के साथ दोस्ती की हुई है जो लोग ये ग्लोरिया जीन्स ज्यादा जाते होंगे.
नहीं सर, मैं घर में ही पीता हूँ.
अच्छा, घर में पीते. अच्छा.
यस सर.
अच्छा, अब मुझे समझ आ गई. यू आर वन ऑफ दोस गाइस जो लड़कियां कंप्लेन करती हैं, कहती हैं सर आजकल तो लड़के जो है ना हमसे पैसे निकलवाते हैं.
सर पहले
अच्छा,
मैं इन्वेस्ट
अच्छा.
करता हूँ ना. सर पहले मैं इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ.
ये समझ आ गई. ठीक है, बिली बॉब की.
यस सर.
नाश्ते में क्या पीते यार? चाय, कॉफी?
सर कोयटा कैफे की चाय.
कोयटा कैफे की चाय. अच्छा, ठीक है. आई हैव नॉट ड्रंक टी फ्रॉम देयर. इज इट गुड? कोई बहुत ही मजे की होती है, स्पेशल टी बनाई होती है उन्होंने?
सर बहुत मजे की है सर. एक पिंडघेप कैफे, वहाँ की बड़ी अच्छी चाय होती है.
ओके, this is good, excellent. Let's move on to Narfa. Did I say your name correctly today?
Yes sir.
Okay, good. What do you like to have? Tea,
Sir,
coffee,
chai. Sir, chai या fresh juice.
chai, or fresh juice? Okay, that's good. Uh, how many times a day do you drink tea?
Sir, सुबह नाश्ते के time में.
Okay, just once for breakfast. Okay, that's
Yes.
cool. What about Harif?
Yes, sir.
Tea,
Sir, coffee.
coffee?
Sir, coffee.
Okay. किस जगह की कॉफी पसंद है यार?
सर घर में ही बना लेता हूँ, ठीक है सर, कोई भी मिल जाए चलेगी,
ओके
बस कॉफी होनी
घर में कौन
चाहिए।
सी नेस्ले की नेस्कैफे?
यस, नेस्कैफे।
नेस्कैफे, ओके, that's good. Do you drink tea also or just coffee only? I think we've lost Haris. Umar, are you here with us?
Yes, sir, I am here, sir.
अच्छा, आप क्या
Sir,
पीते हैं यार? कॉफी, टी?
सर चाय पीते हैं सर, लिप्टन, टपाल, दानेदार, इस्लामाबाद, सारी सर।
ओके, दिन में कितने कप पी लेते होंगे यार?
पीता सर कभी कभार हूँ,
अच्छा,
लेकिन पी लेता हूँ सर। कॉफी
ओके।
पी लेता हूँ, मगर अगर कहीं दोस्त वगैरह साथ हो, वो अगर पी रहे हैं तो फिर साथ वैसे पी लेता हूँ।
दोस्त मतलब समझ, वो वाले दोस्त?
नहीं सर, मैं सादा बंदा हूँ सर।
अच्छा साथ कोई बैठ के सुन रहा होगा, हाँ क्लास जो है ना सुन रहा होगा अच्छे से। नहीं, ये भी खतरनाक बात है ना, क्योंकि आजकल द क्लास इज हैपनिंग इन एट होम्स, तो कुछ नहीं पता है साथ कौन बैठ के सुन रहा हो। अच्छा अच्छा, नहीं हाँ शरीफ बंदा है, यस उमर बहुत शरीफ बंदा है। और किसी के साथ कॉफी नहीं पीता, ठीक है यार, इट्स ओके। वो तो कैफे में, इकरा यूनिवर्सिटी के कैफे में ही पता चलेगा ना कौन किसके साथ कहाँ पर बैठे हुए क्या पी रहे होते हैं, है ना?
यस सर, बिल्कुल।
राइट, वो आई मिस दोस टाइम्स। वैसे वो मेरा ऑफिस जो था ना, वैसे तो कभी ऑफिस में बैठता नहीं था बिकॉज आई एम विजिटिंग फैकल्टी, बट आई कुड सी लाइक द होल यूनिवर्सिटी कैंपस फ्रॉम माय विंडो। मुझे पता चल जाता था कौन किस दरख्त के नीचे किसके साथ बैठा हुआ है, कॉफी पी रहा है। ओके, मूविंग ऑन। ताहिर, आर यू विद अस? मोहम्मद ताहिर, नहीं, इसने ऑन करके ना, साइन इन करके ना फोन छोड़ दिया है, राइट? जाके ऐसे या तो तकिए के नीचे रखती है, सो गया होगा ताहिर भाई। रुबाब,
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, सो टेल अस, टी,
Sir,
कॉफी?
my chai, tea,
Okay, and how many cups a day?
2 to 3.
2 to 3 cups a day. Okay, that's interesting. No coffee at all, or like once in a while?
No, sir, in winters, like I prefer coffee in winters.
In the winters, coffee.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's cool. And again, is that Nescafe or do you go to like one of those coffee shops?
So it's like both. Like at home, I
Which?
use Nescafe, and
Okay.
उसके बाद अगर बाहर हो तो फिर Gloria Jeans भी, and there's this coffee bean, and वहाँ पे एक है coffee shop.
Yes,
I
coffee
don't
bean
know
and tea
those.
leaves.
Yes, sir.
I
वहाँ
can I
की
can almost I can almost see it from my house here. It's just down the road from where I live. Coffee bean F6 में, you know.
yes, sir. वहाँ की
I prefer coffee bean myself. They have a very strong coffee.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And finally, Tatwa, coffee, tea.
Sir, coffee.
Uh, how many cups would you have a day? Once a day or once a week or something like that?
Uh, 2 to 3 times, only in winters.
Okay. So in the winters, you prefer coffee. Again, like Nescafe, is there a specific store you go to? Coffee shop you go
Nescafe.
to? Okay. What about the coffee shops? Like, do you prefer one type over the other?
Sir, I drink at home.
Okay, you're doing it at home. Okay, that's cool. Okay, now this is interesting. You see, in this small group, we've got 9, 10 people here. We've got a number of people who are drinking coffee. Now, if you went back, right, say 10 years ago, there would hardly be 1 or 2 people, right? If you went back 20 years ago, there would be probably nobody in that time. So what has happened is the behavior of customers is changing, and the behavior of customers has changed, and it is changing. Now, who does it benefit? Obviously, it benefits like company like Nescafe, right? Because that is the one that is the most available in Pakistan. But then there's other coffee companies also. Davidoff, I think they've got a coffee that they sell. Um, and then the coffee shops that we have that are sprung up all over the place. I think Glory Jeans was the first one that came to Pakistan. मेरे ख्याल में Glory Jeans was the first one. Actually, the first one was Dunkin' Donuts, which came. They had a decent coffee, right? Lekin Dunkin' Donuts didn't really take off as a coffee place. It was more of a donut place, right? Gloria Jeans, I think, was the first one which really, started selling coffee in Pakistan. Now we have Gloria Jeans, Coffee Planet, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, Second Cup. What else is there?
Burning Brownie.
Burning Brownie does a good coffee, yes. Anything else that I'm missing? So we have like 5, 6 major brands that are here, and the coffee they sell. Like I said, like the Coffee Bean is right close to my house. So I go there a lot. Interestingly, it is not just a place to have a coffee. It is a place to meet up with people, right? So most of my business meetings take place in coffee shops, right? And when I go there, I have friends. One of them owns an IT company. He's been running the IT company for the last 18 years. I think he employs something like 300 people. Usko 90% of the time, if you want to meet him, you go to Coffee Bean. वो Coffee Bean में बैठा होगा. उसकी सारी की सारी meetings होती है ना Coffee Bean में होती है. He's got his laptop open, साथ उसने वो Bluetooth लगाया होता है, and he's having meetings, one after the other. There's another person I know. He set up a company. They organize conferences and events and things of that sort. He just set up 3 years ago. He's also sitting in. He's based out of F11, so he's mostly sitting in the coffee shops in F11. There's 3 of them. Pass here, na? Burning Brown is there, Coffee Bean is there, and there's a third one. I think Gloria Jeans there. Glory Jeans and F11 workers. So he's in one of those 3 places most of the day. You find him there. He's organizing meetings and stuff. This has turned into a big business, actually, right? Coffee has turned into a very, very big business. When we compare the price of coffee to tea, coffee is much more expensive, right? If you go, I think, I'm not exactly sure, the exact prices, but if you go for the premium coffee, right, which is not the instant coffee, the one that you have to make in a nice coffee machine or something, you're looking at, maybe 3,000 rupees for a small packet of coffee, right? I don't think there's any tea that is that expensive, right? Unless, especially हम जो चाय पीते हैं वो इतनी महंगी नहीं होती, right? But you can get coffee which is, super duper expensive. Now, coffee obviously is an American thing, right? But where did it originate? Where did it come from? Thank you for volunteering. Rubab की maid जो है बैठी हुई है. Maid है या cousin है?
नहीं सर, yes sir.
मैंने क्या रुबाब की मेट बैठी हुई है, cousin बैठी है?
तो वो खुद बैठी.
जब तक कैमरा नहीं ऑन होगा हमें पता नहीं चलेगा. We have no idea who's there, right? अच्छा, where do you think coffee originated from?
पता नहीं, I don't know.
Sir, Ethiopia, sir.
Okay, Umar, Ethiopia. Yes and no, very close actually. Anybody else? So I'll give you like I'll give you 8 out of 10 for that. Narfa. No? Okay.
Kenya.
Close. Actually, these are all very close to each other. It's an Arab
Sudan
thing.
and
Yes, coffee is actually an Arab
Kenya.
drink, right? So जिससे Ethiopia का मरियम ने Sudan का, these are like all interlapping places. So they're grown in that part, but mostly the Arabs, they're the ones who drink it. If you ever tried Arabic coffee, oh my goodness, 4 दिन आप जागते रहेंगे, right? वो मेरे जोर्डेनियन दोस्त है, उसने मुझे घर बुलाया था.
Sir, I tried.
You tried it? Oh my goodness. They have like a small glass that is this big, literally. इतनी छोटी सी glass. मैंने कहा ये coffee है, इसमें क्या coffee होनी है, right? When I tasted it, I was like, whoa. अच्छा, अब it was very, very, very strong. मैंने उस बेचारे को दिल भी इसको नहीं दिखाना चाहा, because he invited me to his house. So I drank it. अगले 4 दिन मेरी आंखें दुजू इस तरह करके, literally, it was very, very strong coffee, right? वो it was not watery, वो paste था basically, इतनी strong थी. उसके अंदर मेरे ख्याल में 80-90% coffee beans थी और थोड़ा सा पानी उन्होंने डाला हुआ था, right? So it's very, very strong. Coffee shops, right? Obviously, Starbucks is the company which came up with this whole thing. They popularized it. But where does the idea of coffee shop come from? Billy Bob, thank you for volunteering.
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, कॉफी शॉप किधर से निकला यार? ओरिजिनल आइडिया जो था.
सर मेरा
सर ये पता नहीं, मेरे ख्याल में स्टारबक्स तो नहीं है सर.
Starbucks ने तो अभी recently, like the last 30 whatever years, they've popularized it, right? But originally, where does the idea come from?
वैसे देखा जाए हॉलैंड के अंदर बहुत ज्यादा कॉफी कैफेज इस तरह के हैं.
Yes, Holland has got them. So now think about it. It's not the people from Holland did not do it themselves, right? It is some immigrants who went to Holland who started these coffee shops. Where did those people come from? Oh, good question. Okay, I'll tell you guys. So next to the Arabs is Turkey, right? So जो coffee shop का जो idea है ना, the whole concept, it's a Turkish concept. So the Turks started this long time ago, where you would have a place where the people would come in, they would sit, they would drink coffee and they would talk, right? Because Starbucks is not just a place where they sell coffee, it's a meeting place, right? That idea Starbucks took, they modernized it, and then they started up the Starbucks chain, and now it's all over the world. Starbucks is all over the world. Does anybody know वो पाकिस्तान में क्यों नहीं आते Starbucks? I contacted them, by the way. When I was coming to Pakistan a few years ago, so I contacted Starbucks and I said, look, I would like to open franchise in Pakistan. So the response I got from the idiots. We are not interested in Pakistan right now. So why aren't they coming to Pakistan?
Market size is less, and they say risk is.
Okay, we think the market size is less, but okay. Rubab?
So I think like Starbucks जो है वो जो उसके customers है, like more like वो उनके like regular basis पे होते हैं. लेकिन पाकिस्तान में I guess so, in my opinion, कि जो लोग हैं वो like regularly consume नहीं कर रहे होते कॉफी को, like सुबह काम पे जाने से पहले इस तरह. So
okay, so most of the customers you think they're not regular customers, okay?
yeah, it's in my opinion.
Okay.
कॉन्शियस तो नहीं है
Sorry, I didn't get that yet.
सर, वो ब्रांड कॉन्शियस तो नहीं है.
No, actually, Starbucks का मसला ये है कि uh, uh, this is the reality, this is the fact. uh, कुछ American companies जो यहूदी owned होती हैं वो फिर they don't like to do work in countries like Pakistan. That's basically it. They make excuses कि जी market size नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. But as you can see, like how many coffee shops have opened up in Pakistan? There's a lot, and price-wise, it's almost the same prices as international prices, right? 700-800 rupees for a cup of coffee is very similar to the prices you pay abroad. So that's not the case. The market is growing. There's a lot of coffee shops that have opened up in Pakistan. Uh, but these two, three big chains like Costa Coffee, Starbucks, these guys don't invest in Pakistan because they think कि पाकिस्तान में अगर invest करेंगे तो पाकिस्तान को help करेंगे and all that stuff. But the fact is that in the big cities, the consumer behavior is changing. What we have as a drink and where we socialize, right? It's more about socializing. कॉफी शॉप से पहले लोग किधर सोशलाइज करते थे? उमर?
यस सर. सर कॉफी शॉप के अलावा ढाबे में भी सोशलाइज कर लेते हैं सर.
Okay. See, like the thing is, because
अगर
the
एक
coffee shop.
यस सर, अगर पुअर क्लास के लोग हों या मिडिल क्लास, थोड़े से लोअर मिडिल में, तो वो कर सकते हैं.
Okay, so we're talking about now because coffee is drunk by a certain economic class of people because the price wise, it's expensive, right? So let's stick to that middle class and middle, say upper level people, right? So where would the middle class socialize before the coffee shops? Abhi, somebody said something earlier. Okay, what does Burning Brownie sell? Thank you for volunteering, Takwa.
Yes, sir.
Are you jogging up?
Yes, sir, जाग रही हूँ.
Burning Brownie, what do they sell?
Sir, coffee? What? I didn't go there.
You have not gone there? Okay.
Please.
Do you eat ice cream?
Yes, sir.
Okay. कौन सी आइसक्रीम शॉप आपको पसंद है?
Sir, McFlurry.
Okay. Have you heard of this hotspot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you ever go there?
No.
Okay.
सर ये F7 में.
Yes, F7 में जो है. Has anybody been there? Hotspot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically, before the coffee shops, the ice cream places were the places where people would kind of hang out, right? Either ice cream places or restaurants, right? But the coffee shop has changed that. That whole trend where people go and hang out and meet up. And it's not just about friends meeting up. Coffee shop has gone to one step higher, right? Because ice cream place mein to hali you can go with your friends, right? But the coffee shop is a place where businesses meet, where business people meet. A lot of business is very, very surprising, but you'll find out that a lot of business takes place at coffee shops. Now this trend is something that was started by Starbucks. They exported this idea to other countries all around the world. Now, England, when we think of tea, we think of England, right? What do you think the British drink? Tea, coffee? Haris, thank you for volunteering here.
Yes, sir.
Anji, what do you think the British drink? Tea?
Sir, I think coffee.
यार ब्रिटिश ने टी टाइम इन्वेंट किया था सारा. Okay.
Uh-huh.
So wouldn't they be drinking tea? Why do we have in cricket the tea break?
Oh, yes, sir. उसमें तो टी ब्रेक होती है.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So basically the English introduced tea to the subcontinent, right? And the rest of the world. But what's happening is in the UK, their trend is changing. They are in the big cities, metropolitan cities, for breakfast only. The trend is more people are drinking coffee than they drink tea. लेकिन जो tea time है ना, अभी भी UK में there's a tea time that they have, which is around 4-5 o'clock, usually in the afternoon. And at tea time, you only have tea. You don't have coffee at that time. So that is still a tradition which continues to this day. But somehow in the big metropolitan cities, you are seeing more people are drinking coffee as compared to tea. And perhaps one of the reasons for that is coffee mein jo caffeine है, it's a lot stronger. And if you live in a big metropolitan city, you need more caffeine to get you going in the morning. I'm not sure, but over the last 15-20 years, the consumer trend in the UK is changing. So now in the UK, when you think of morning time, you will have more people drinking coffee than they'll be drinking tea. Tea is still popular, no doubt, but still, that trend is changing significantly. Now, what is the biggest? Let's change the subject a little bit. We're talking about drinks. What is the biggest uh, competitor to Coca-Cola?
Pepsi?
Sir.
Okay, yes, Pepsi is there. Does anybody know the ratio between Coke to Pepsi in Pakistan?
सर इतना पता है कोक की ज्यादा है मेरे ख्याल में.
Yes. कितना ज्यादा है?
ये नहीं पता सर.
Okay, globally, around the world, it is roughly 60-40 ratio. So in the world, 60% of people drink Coke, 40% drink Pepsi. Now, from each country, from one country to country, it varies. Right? In some countries, Pepsi is more. So in the US, Pepsi is more. In the UK, Pepsi is more. Pakistan maybe Pepsi is more. Interestingly, Pepsi's got a higher market share than Coca-Cola. But in a lot of other countries, then Coca-Cola is more. So when you look at the total market as a whole, Coca-Cola has got a bigger share. When we talk about the colas, what is the biggest competitor to colas in Pakistan? So before Coca-Cola came to Pakistan and Pepsi came to Pakistan, what was the drink that people were drinking in Pakistan?
अमृत कोला.
नहीं, अमृत कोला बहुत बाद में आया था यार.
पेप्सी कोला भी थी.
सर इसी कैटेगरी में आता है कोक यानी
Like a drink.
शिजान तो नहीं है सर.
Hint, it's red in color.
Red in color.
Brew of yes. Yes, because that was a drink, जो लोग ज्यादातर पीते थे. कोई मेहमान शिमान आ गया घर में तो उनके लिए वो शरबत बनाते थे, रूह अफ़ज़ा बनाते थे, right? So when Coke and Pepsi came into the market, it was like competing against the रूह अफ़ज़ा. Besides रूह अफ़ज़ा, what was the drink that people were drinking in Pakistan?
जामे शीरी सर.
मतलब वो एक ही कैटेगरी में आ जाते हैं ना, रूह अफ़ज़ा, जामे शीरी, etc. Right? Let's talk about the drink as a whole. यार गर्मियों में अभी भी लोग पीते हैं.
स्कंजवी सर, स्कंजवी. लेमन वाटर सर. नींबू पानी Yes, sir.
नींबू पानी it's सफेद रंग का है. Let me give you a hint.
दूध सोडा सर सफेद रंग का सर
दूध नहीं, दूध से बनता है.
चाय
सर दूध
लस्सी.
लस्सी
हाँ,
है में था सर पता
लस्सी सर
How
लस्सी
can you guys forget the Pakistani drink lassi?
सर मैं कब से बोल रही थी.
यस सर मैंने बता दिए सर
Oh, sorry, आपकी आवाज नहीं आई. So lassi is basically that was the main drink that people were drinking. So lassi was there, then the ruh afza, the red sharbat was there, and then that's when the Coke came into the market, and they've kind of changed the habits of consumers, right? किसी ज़माने पुराने ज़माने में long time ago, Coke was a thing कि जी कोई मेहमान घर में आए तो Coke वो बुलाते थे. It depends on level of मेहमान. तो कोई बहुत अच्छे मेहमान आए हैं तो उनके लिए कोक की बोतलें मंगवाते थे. कोई मिडिल लेवल मेहमान होते थे तो फिर उनके लिए तो वो रूह अफ़ज़ा शू अफ़ज़ा बनाते थे, right? What is the biggest competitor for Coke and Pepsi today?
मरी ब्यूरी सर
No, biggest competitor in Pakistan. तो को फोन आ रहा है मेरे हाल में पीछे. So what's the biggest competitor for Coke and Pepsi today?
Red Bull sir
What is not Red Bull? The biggest drink that people in Pakistan drink today?
Nestle no
कार्बोनेटेड ड्रिंक की बात कर रहे हैं ना हम.
Nay, drink in general, because like Ruh Afza is not a carbonated drink.
सर
Lassi is
नेस्ले हो सकती है सर
juices.
no, not quite.
एनर्जी ड्रिंक
Abhi, we just talked about it today. We spent a lot of time talking about it today.
कोई हिंट दें सर कोई हिंट दें अच्छी सर
ये the question you're asking ना, ये वो it reminds me of that joke. एक बंदा पूछता है दूसरे से कि जी अगर तुम if you guess कि मेरी बास्केट में कितने अंडे हैं तो 12 के 12 अंडे तुम्हारे हैं, right?
अच्छा
Yes. सुबह से हम चाय की बात कर रहे हैं ना यार, चाय कॉफी की, right?
Oh,
यस सर चाय कॉफी है बस
Yes.
चाय है सर चाय
चाय
Can you just give one second? Just 1 second. Hello?
मगर सर
वालेकुम सलाम. हाँ जी चीफ, क्या हाल है यार? मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ वैसे. It's okay. हाँ. उसका यार मैंने ओरिजिनल फॉर्म में भेजा हुआ था. Should I send it again? वो जो ओरिजिनल जो मैंने रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर किया था ना उसके अंदर था उसका उसको फिर से भेज दूँ? Okay, I'll send it to you. Okay, ठीक. Sorry about that. Student के रिजल्ट के अभी भी चक्कर हो रहे हैं. Okay, so tea is the biggest drink that people in Pakistan drink today. So the biggest competitor to Coke and Pepsi is actually chai, and that's what they're trying to do. If you look at the ads that come, in television and other places, so Coke and Pepsi are targeting the tea drinkers. They want them to switch from drinking tea to drinking Coke and Pepsi. But that is a consumer habit which is very difficult to change, right? Pakistani log jo hai na, I don't know if we are going to be able to switch from from tea to coke. It doesn't make sense. मेरा एक cousin है वैसे, वो सुबह नाश्ते में पेप्सी पीता है. Anybody here who drinks coke or Pepsi in breakfast?
सर आपका कजन
I'm asking about you guys.
फिर हमारे भी कजन
सर मेरा एक दोस्त है वो भी इसी तरह का है, वो दिन रात पेप्सी और कोक पीता
सर मैंने सुना है सऊदी अरब में भी सर वो कोक ज्यादा पीते हैं, पेप्सी सॉरी, पानी से ज्यादा बल्कि.
Really?
है मतलब.
अच्छा, उधर मिडिल ईस्ट
Yes,
के
sir.
कोक होता भी बहुत, it's got a lot of sugar in it. It's very very sweet.
Yes.
So what these companies are trying to do is trying to change consumer habits. Right? Consumer habit takes a very very long time to change. It's not an easy thing. अच्छा, नाश्ते में normally आप लोग क्या खाते हैं? Let's start with Mubin.
सर यूजुअली मैं तो देसी बैकग्राउंड ही है, तो सुबह के तंदूर लगा हुआ है, उसमें अभी भी लकड़ियां जला के तंदूर के पराठे, देसी घी और
क्या बात है यार. I'm gonna come over for breakfast. ये कोरोना खत्म होगा ना, I'm gonna come over for breakfast to your place यार. Seriously.
टाइम सर. आई जस्ट लिव इन F11.
Oh, आप तो पास ही हो बस. ठीक है यार.
यस ब्रो.
मरियम तो पराठे बनाती है ना सुबह नाश्ते में.
नहीं सर. फिर मैं यूजुअली ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं करती और मतलब 10-11 बजे उठ के मिल्क शेक पी के फिर उसके बाद एक दफ़ा ही लंच करती हूँ.
अच्छा, what about like the rest of the family? What do they eat for breakfast?
सर वही देसी पराठे और ऑमलेट एंड मतलब मेरी
Okay.
सिस्टर लस्सी पीती है. हमारा भी देसी
Okay.
बैकग्राउंड है एंड
ठीक है.
मतलब रात का कोई डिनर हो उसके साथ ब्रेकफास्ट और टी वगैरह.
Okay. I think अंडा पराठा जो है ना has nothing to do with desi background or not. This is a national Pakistani, breakfast,
Yeah.
right? So personally, if the paratha is made nicely, I like anda paratha myself, right?
Okay.
So okay, so we got two people. Umar.
Yes sir, मैं तो सर सुबह मिल्क का ग्लास पीता हूँ एक और बस.
Okay. And what about the rest of the family? What type of breakfast do they have? Umar bhai? Oh bhai, सो गए. उमर ने फिर से म्यूट कर लिया अपना फोन.
हेलो सर, मुझे कह रहे हैं सर?
हाँ ना यार, तुम
अच्छा सर,
मुझे लगता है
जी सर. सर रेस्ट ऑफ द फैमिली, सर मैं सच्ची बात बताऊं, मुझे रेस्ट ऑफ द फैमिली का पता ही नहीं है सर. मैं अलग होता हूँ सर. मैं नीचे वाले पोर्शन में, वो ऊपर होते हैं सारे.
अच्छा, ओके, नो वरीज. रुबाब,
जैसा
आज नाश्ते में क्या खाया आपने भाजी के लिए?
यस सर.
मेरे के नाश्ते में क्या पकाया है? Hello, can you hear me? ये अब जो है ना वो गई है रुबाब से पूछने. रुबाब सर ये पूछ रहे हैं कि नाश्ते में क्या पकाया है, राइट? ओके, मूव ऑन टू नरसा. ब्रेकफास्ट. हेलो नरसा, जाग गए? लाहौर आ गया? ओके, बिली बॉब आ गई. जागिए. ओके, नाश्ते में क्या खाती हैं आप?
सर ब्रेड और बटर और जूस का, फ्रेश जूस का ग्लास बस.
ओके. Bilal, what about you यार?
सर वही अंडा पराठा चाय.
अंडा पराठा. ओके, गुड. हारिस.
Yes sir, anda paratha, chai, blue band.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Did we ask Taqwa?
सर वही पराठा लस्सी उसके साथ और जो रात का सालन हो वो बस।
Okay. And Tahir. Tahir भाई, पिक्चर तो ताहिर भाई ने आई हुई है इकरा यूनिवर्सिटी वाली, खुद गायब हो गए। हाँ जी यार ताहिर, नाश्ते में क्या खाते हैं यार नॉर्मली?
सर देसी पराठे, चाय होगा।
Okay. Good. So you see, like a lot of us are eating the desi breakfast, right? I think I mix and match, right? I mix and match between. Haji? So I said I mix and match, right? But in Pakistan, you know, like if you go back in time to the 80s, so almost everybody would say anda paratha. That was like the traditional breakfast. The only difference being like if you go to KP side, so udhar like parathe ke saath malai khate hain. Anybody do that here?
Yes sir.
मलाई के साथ आप कभी खाए वो नाश्ता?
Sir.
Okay.
तो ब्रेड
What
के
about
साथ पराठे के साथ
okay?
भी।
So the traditional breakfast was like really popular in Pakistan. Then, like I think 80s or something like that is when the companies that started making double roti, they started doing advertising and marketing. And along with the double roti wala companies, you had like the Blue Band margarine and the butter companies. They started coming up. And then now, you know, 30 years later or something like that, you have a big percentage of the population who eat bread, right? So it will be toast with margarine or butter or toast with eggs. तो पराठा जो है ना काफी जगहों पे रिप्लेस हो रहा है by bread. Again, that is something that took a very long time for it to happen. Nobody said cornflakes here. Anybody have cornflakes in the morning? No, nobody eats cornflakes here.
सर शुरू किया था आज से 3 साल पहले, फिर छोड़ दिया सर।
अच्छा,
2
ओके,
दिन
क्यों छोड़ा यार?
वैसे ही सर, दिल नहीं किया सर।
ओके,
वो मैंने
ठीक
सर
है।
सुना है जो लोग पेशेंट्स होते हैं या लोग होते हैं वो बहुत उसको खाते हैं नाश्ते में।
Americans eat a lot of cornflakes in the morning because it's a fast food. जल्दी जल्दी बन जाता है ना, so they have a lot of cornflakes. I used to eat cornflakes a lot, then I stopped because during the day you don't get much time to you know eat stuff. So if you have a heavy breakfast, जो जैसे देसी जो हमारा स्टाइल होता था ना, heavy breakfast होता था, then that keeps you going for the rest of the day. But if you go to the stores now, you will see कि cornflakes वाले काफी सारे varieties आ गए हैं, काफी brands आ गए हैं cornflakes के, right? Again, 20-30 years ago, this was not the case, right? Changing the customers' habits has taken a while. You know, it's a slow process, but it is changing, and you can tell if you go to the supermarket. So 4G वालों का अगर देखें, not the imported ones, just the local ones, right? If you see the 4G ones, 4G has got like I think 10 different varieties of cornflakes and cereals that they do, right? So that change in consumer behavior is a slow process, right? It takes a lot of time for it to happen. Um, but customers, you know, we need to know what customers are doing. नाश्ते में क्या खा रहे हैं? कॉफी पी रहे हैं, चाय पी रहे हैं, दूध पत्ती पी रहे हैं. What is it, you know, that people eat? What is it that people drink? Then consequently, we as a company, we can then position our products, you know, accordingly. We know more people drink tea as compared to coffee. What is the biggest or most popular chai place? एक तो कोयटा वाले किसी ने कहा था ना, हाँ जी रुबाब, थैंक यू फॉर वॉलंटियरिंग।
तो चाय की बहुत ज़्यादा लाइक ढाबे की चाय बहुत अच्छी होती है एंड और वो कोयटा जो कैफ़े उन्होंने बोला वो उसकी चाय भी काफ़ी अच्छी है एंड चिकाचीनो की भी जो कश्मीरी चाय है वो अच्छी है।
Okay, yes, Chicacino has become very popular all of a sudden, right? In a very
Yes,
short
sir.
period of time.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Um, Anybody else? There's one other big one that I'm thinking of. चाय की जगह चाय खाना. Anybody?
यस सर, चाय खाना ज़हन में नहीं आया सर।
Right?
Yes.
यस सर।
I think chai
Yes, sir.
khana was like older than Chicacino and
Yes, yes, yes,
Koita,
sir.
right?
Yes, sir.
They kind of changed the whole trend, making chai cool, right? Because like that's like a higher end, you could say, place. Otherwise, dhabe to hote the, but dhaba was not really like a higher end place, right? Uh, I've been to Chai Khana a number of times, and there's been like a queue. There's a long wait. वो आपको कहते हैं सर आप थोड़ा सा इंतजार करें. We are totally full inside. उसके बाद एक और वो खुला था. पहले लाहौर में आए थे. Now they are in Islamabad also in S7. It's a tea place. आप लोग लगता है you guys don't go out much.
यस सर, वी डोंट नो सर।
उमर ने तो असल में साथ कोई और बिठाया हुआ है तो वो बता नहीं सकते ना असल में स्टोरी जो है. हाँ जी हारिस यार, have you been to English tea house?
नो
ना
सर।
करें यार कसम से.
यस सर।
आपको कोई लेके
सादे
नहीं
लोग
गया.
हैं सर हम।
आपको लेके नहीं गया होगा
सर
कोई.
साद नहीं सर, ऐसे ही समझ लें, सादे लोग हैं सर हम तो।
अच्छा.
यस सर।
English tea house लाहौर से शुरू हुआ था and they opened a
यस
branch
सर।
in Islamabad also. And the Lahore one is in Gulbarg. It's a nice place. I went there um, a few times. Um, and then the Islamabad one is in F7 near Hardy's, if anybody's seen that place, right? Um, so they do breakfast. Like they're very famous for breakfast. Obviously, you can have lunch and dinner there as well. It's quite busy at that time. But yeah, they call it English tea house. But you can also have coffee there as well. So they have decent coffee at the English tea house, right? So now there's a new trend that is happening in Pakistan, right? The coffee shops came and they started getting popular. And then some people realized कि यार coffee तो है, लेकिन not many people drink coffee in Pakistan. Why don't we have a cool, nice, fancy place which is more tea focused as opposed to coffee focused, right? Uh, I don't know about you guys, but do you think that the tea that they sell in Gloria Jeans or other places, is it any good?
सर कभी टेस्ट ही नहीं की सर, कॉफी भी है सर।
अच्छा उधर जाके mostly you drink coffee, right? Very few people drink tea over there.
यस सर।
Okay. ताहिर भाई जागे इधर ही है. ताहिर लगता है फिर से सो गए. बिली बॉब.
यस सर।
हाँ जी यार, क्या हो रहा है यार? आटा गूंद लिया?
जी सर।
मैं क्या आटा गूंद लिया?
जी सर, सब कुछ गूंद लिए।
कौन सा वाला आटा किया, चक्की वाला या सफेद आटा?
सर वो दोनों।
अच्छा मिक्स करके बनाया है.
यस सर, कुछ नया बना रहा हूँ।
अच्छा अच्छा, क्या बात है यार. कैसे कैसे गूंथते हैं यार, हाथ से गूंथते हैं या कोई इंस्ट्रूमेंट यूज करते हैं?
सर मशीन रखी हुई है।
मशीन रखी हो? अच्छा अच्छा, गुड यार, आसान काम हो जाता है फिर।
यस सर।
अच्छा, गुड गुड मैन यार। मैं ये पूछ रहा था, चाय कभी पिए कॉफी बीन या उस जगह पे जाके, ग्लोरिया जीन
सर
जाके?
सर चाय तो घर में पीता हूँ, कम। हेलो।
यार your voice broke up my friend.
अब आ रही सर आवाज?
हाँ जी।
जी सर, मैंने कहा चाय तो घर में पीता हूँ।
अच्छा, उधर कभी जाके कॉफी बीन में या ग्लोरिया जीन्स में जाके चाय नहीं ट्राई किया आपने?
नहीं नहीं सर।
अच्छा। Again, most people don't drink tea when they go to these type of places, right? Why? They're not famous for tea. They're famous for coffee. Number one. Number two, paying 450 rupees for a cup of coffee, tea, it doesn't really make sense, does it? Right?
Yes, sir.
It's quite pricey. Anybody have tea at PC or Marriott or one of those places? I think Mubin might have had it. Mubin bhai. Okay, you know what? I think I need to see you guys to see who's here and who's not here. Umar bhai, यार वीडियो ऑन कर यार।
सर किसको कह रहे हैं सर? मुझे कह रहे हैं?
हाँ हाँ, वीडियो ऑन करें यार, वी वांट टू सी यू।
सर एक मिनट सर।
बनियान में बैठे हुए, खैर है यार, कोई शर्ट पहन ले जल्दी से यार। हाँ, नाउ वी सी यू यार। ऑन करके ऑफ भी कर दी यार।
सर आपने देख तो लिया मुझे सर।
नहीं यार, ये अब वो अटेंडेंस के लिए ना, वो रैकेट में जाना जाएगा ना, तो हमें पता होना चाहिए कि उमर ही बैठा है, कोई और बैठा है।
सर आप मुझे आवाज दे देना, मैं आपको बता दूंगा सर इंशाल्लाह।
अच्छा बिली बॉब, यार वीडियो ऑन कर यार।
सर प्लीज सर।
बाल कंघी नहीं की, मैं खैर है यार, इट्स ओके।
सर फिर इंशाल्लाह कभी सर।
क्या मतलब फिर इंशाल्लाह कभी? अच्छा, ये बिलाल नहीं बैठा हो, मुझे पता चल गया।
सर मैं ही हूँ, सर मैं ही हूँ।
मैं तो कोई भी हो सकता है, मैं भी मैं हूँ। राइट के अच्छा, ये बिलाल का जरा, आई नीड टू राइट दिस डाउन कि इसने अपने छोटे भाई को बिठाया हुआ है।
सर मैं आ रहा हूँ,
For-
आ रहा हूँ, आ रहा हूँ सर।
अच्छा, उसको बुला लो यार, बिलाल को बुला लो, उसको कहो कि जी सर बुला रहे हैं, कहते हैं कि
आ गया सर।
वीडियो पे आना है। राइट ताहिर?
है?
हाँ, नाउ आई कैन सी यू यार। अच्छा, दैट्स गुड यार।
ठीक है सर।
इसमें शर्माने वाली कौन सी बात है यार? टेंशन क्यों लेते यार?
जी सर।
ताहिर भाई, वीडियो ऑन करें यार,
यस सर।
वीडियो ऑन करें यार, वीडियो।
मैं तो बनियान नहीं पहनी सर।
पहन ले यार।
सर थोड़ा वेट करें तो कुछ पहन।
अच्छा चलो ठीक है यार। लेडीज, वी ओनली सॉ मरियम। रुबाब ने तो वो अपनी वो बिठाई हुई है ना, काम वाली को बिठाया हुआ है।
सर ये मैं ही हूँ लाइक
राइट, वो तो लाइक जब तक वीडियो नहीं देखेंगे, वी कैन नॉट बी श्योर इट इज यू, इट कुड बी एनीबॉडी।
ठीक है सर।
हाँ, नाउ वी कैन टेल यू, नाउ वी कैन टेल यू।
अब मैं बंद कर दूँ?
You can turn it off. It's okay. Now we know. Okay. But दूसरी को फिर से भेजते हैं, खैर है, कोई मसला नहीं, आप जाके सो जाए। Right? Narfa.
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, is that you or is your sister or?
Sir, मैं ही हूँ।
हाँ जी, okay, now we can see it's you. Okay, that's good. और कौन रह गया? Taqwa is left.
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, आपने किसको बिठाया है?
सर मैं खुद अकेली हूँ.
Like I said, until we see you, we cannot be sure it's you. Okay, now we can see you. Okay, now we can believe it is you. Okay, good. Yes, you can turn it off now. I said, why are you guys like so conscious when it comes to like online class? Instagram और Snapchat में तो like रोज 50 सेल्फीज अपलोड हो रही होती हैं, टिकटॉक पे वीडियोस हो रही होती हैं. सही कह रहा हूँ ना? You know that.
यस सर, रीजन नहीं समझ आ रही सर.
Yeah, ऐसे बिहेव करें जैसे you know you guys have met for the first time. अब ताहिर भाई ने अभी तक शबार वीडियो नहीं ऑन की. Okay, ताहिर मुझे लगता है फिर से सो गया. So consumer behavior, right? This is what consumer behavior is. We study the behavior of customers, where we look at how do customers behave, why they behave in a certain way, and we try to, as a company, influence that process, so that customers will buy our products, the customers will buy our services, the customer will buy more of our products, they'll buy more of our services. That's the whole point of consumer behavior. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start sharing some slides with you guys. If I can open it. This Apple it puts everything on the iCloud. So what it does is when everything goes on iCloud, then you have to download it. I've got the PowerPoint slides which I will be sharing with you guys. Okay, so what we'll do is today we will go till like 1 o'clock, and then we'll finish the class at 1. Then instead of coming back after Juma prayers, what I'm going to ask you guys to do is join me at 4 o'clock for that online conference, right? So we'll count that as part of our class, today's class. Okay.
सर ये हमारी सर ये बता दें सर, ये कितने टाइम तक के लिए?
क्या चीज? जो नॉर्मल क्लास स्केड्यूल है?
नहीं सर, ये जो कॉन्फ्रेंस जो आपका इनविटेशन था सर.
It's 1.5 hour only.
सर क्योंकि सर हमारी आज क्लास की है ना 3 to 6.
3 to 6. अच्छा, okay. So if you can join, that's good. If you cannot join, there is no compulsion in that. All I'm saying is it will be a good idea if you have the time, you can join. So I'm sharing a screen now with you guys. Can you see it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. So consumer behavior, if you look at the official definition of consumer behavior, it is the behavior that consumers display in searching for, purchasing, using, evaluating, disposing of products and services that they expect will satisfy their needs. So we start with the search for a product. भूख लगी है, किधर खाएं, right? क्या चीज खा सकते हैं? The search part is an important part that we as marketers try to look at. Then it's the purchasing part of the thing. How do customers purchase? Nowadays, it's about, because of Corona, a lot of people are ordering things at home. So home delivery, cash on delivery, right? How are people purchasing the product? That is part of the consumer behavior. Then using the product. What are we using the product for? How are we using it? So what I asked you guys earlier, what do you drink? Do you drink tea? Do you drink coffee? When do you drink coffee? Is it just in the morning, during the whole day? Do you only drink coffee when you're out with your friends? Is it at home? Is it outside? The whole using product is important part of the consumer behavior. Evaluating the product. What did you think? Were you happy with it? Were you not happy with it? Did it taste good? Did it taste bad? Whatever. Disposing of products. Okay. Now this is something interesting because if we look at say electronics, Pakistan mein electronics where we don't dispose of the same way as they do say in America or in England. England में ये है कि जी कोई for example blender है, blender खराब हो गया तो वो उठा के बाहर फेंक देते हैं, जाके नया खरीद लेते हैं. पाकिस्तान में we don't do that usually. What do? We take it to electronic store, उनको कहते हैं यार इसको फिक्स कर दे, वो फिक्स कर देते हैं, अब घर ले आते हैं, फिर से यूज करना शुरू हो जाते हैं. So that's the disposing of products and services, right? So this whole process, is the consumer behavior that we are looking at, we want to study. And then from the consumer behavior, this course is focused more on the personal consumer, which is the individual who buys goods and services. So either you buy it for your use or for your household use. Okay. So normally in a household, one person will go and do the shopping, right? But then the whole house will use that product or service, right? So जो अंडे हैं, for example, घर में आए थे, आटा जो आया था, it's not necessarily you bought it, somebody else could have bought it, but you are also using that. That is called the personal consumer. Now the next phase is the development of the marketing concept. Now this is something interesting, and for this bit, I need to go back in history a little bit. Okay, so we talk about business. When did business start? Where did it come from? There are a few key instances in history, in time, that radically changed business. The first key instance was the development of money. So, quick question. Which country were the first coins invented in? First coins. Thank you for volunteering. Taqwa, if you're still here.
Yes, sir.
हाँ जी, first coins किधर आपके ख्याल में ऐसे? Which country?
सर मैं बताऊं सर?
हाँ जी.
सर I think ये ग्रीस होगा या सर टर्की हो सकता है.
Umar, good. You're on spot. Yeah, actually it was Turkey, modern day Turkey. So the oldest coins they found in the world have been in modern day Turkey. What about paper money? Oldest paper money, where did that come from? Thank you for volunteering. Bilal.
Yes, sir. Paper money?
हाँ जी यार, paper money, yes.
Sir, England या America?
Okay.
मैं बताऊं?
Or USA? Yes, Mariam, go ahead.
I think sir Chinese invented paper money. I think.
Okay, आपने Google पे search किया ना? Wikipedia पे
Yes
China
sir,
कह रहे हो, right?
Google is supporting us all. Yes sir.
Okay. Google, Wikipedia is not always right. Okay, Wikipedia is actually wrong in this thing. It's not China, right? And I'll tell you why. Wikipedia is
Europe.
No, it's actually close to China. It's Mongolia. The place that invented money is Mongolia. So if you, we've heard of Genghis Khan, right? This, brutal warrior, conquered half the world, destroyed cities, killed so many people. He did all of those things. There's no doubt about that. But at the same time, Genghis Khan, he had a lot of inventions. And it is because of the inventions that it allowed him to expand his empire. And one of the inventions that he did was he created paper money. Okay. At that time, when they invented paper money, Genghis Khan had conquered China, right? So Chinese ने क्या कहा कि जी हमने paper money invent किया है. हालांकि उन्होंने नहीं किया था because it was done by Genghis Khan and Mongolia. So Wikipedia pe, why do you see it says China on it? Because the way how Wikipedia works is अगर 10 बंदे कहे ना कि जी हाँ हमने देखा मरियम उड़ रही थी, right? Mariam is Supergirl, right? Um, so so Wikipedia, if one person says no, I did not see her fly, but 10 people say yes, I saw her fly, Wikipedia will believe those 10 people. It will not believe that one person, right? So Wikipedia पे आ जाएगा कि जी मरियम जो है सुपर बन गई है and she flies in the air, right? That's the way how Wikipedia works. So it's a number. More people, if they say one thing, Wikipedia will believe that. And because there's more Chinese in the world, वो फिर Chinese ने कहा जी हमने paper money invent किया. Therefore, you get to see, you know, it's Chinese invented paper money. That is not true. It is the same thing as if you Google search who invented the number zero. Anybody know who invented the number zero?
गूगल करते हैं.
गूगल करें. गूगल क्या बताता है आपको?
It was in India.
Number zero?
India से था.
सर इस पे आ रहा है. Yes sir.
Okay, it says India, right?
Hindu astronomer.
Yes sir. Brahma
Brahma
Gupta
Gupta
शायद.
in 620.
Again, it's wrong. Again, this is wrong. Why is it wrong? Because actually, India at that time was under the rule of the Mughals, Muslim rulers, right? It was Muslim scientists who developed the number zero. Because mathematics, who was really good at mathematics? It was Muslims. Who invented algebra? Muslims. Who invented geometry? Who invented most of these things? Mostly Muslim scholars. The number zero was also invented by Muslim scholars in India, right? The same way how Mongolia had conquered China, and the Mongolians invented paper money. But now Chinese say कि जी हमने invent किया. इसी तरह Muslim scholars invented the number zero, but now Indians say कि जी हमने किया और नाम भी किसी का डाल दिया. The problem is, if a Pakistani goes and changes it, there's one for every one Pakistani, there's 11 Indians. So Wikipedia will say, oh no, they are right, and Pakistanis are wrong. So that's why you get to see it says Indians invented the number zero. That is a wrong sort of thing. Okay, so that's why you should not believe everything you read online, right? It is often wrong. How do I know that Mongolia invented paper money? Because Marco Polo. You guys know who Marco Polo is, right?
Yes sir.
Yes sir. Name सुना है sir.
The explorer, he went all around the world, right? Traveled many countries around the world. Okay, so Marco Polo basically he wrote a book autobiography about his life. In that book, he wrote about going to China and Mongolia and these countries. उसमें उसने लिखा था कि जी how they use paper as a form of money. That is how I know that Mongolians invented paper money, not the Chinese people. Okay, so but that is old. Before money, we used to do barter trade, right? Barter trade का मतलब है कि जी अगर Bilal he grows tomatoes, right? And Umar के पास मुर्गियाँ हैं, right? तो अगर omelette बनाना है, you will have to go give your tomatoes to Umar, who will give you eggs in return, right? You barter trade. But when money came, it facilitated our exchange of goods. That was one big major concept in business. Then something interesting happened: Industrial Revolution. Now, where did the Industrial Revolution start?
Sir, USA sir.
USA यार in the history of the world ना अभी बच्चा ही है. It's very new. हाँ जी, Nafa wanted to say something, लेकिन वो mic unmute हुआ है, फिर से mute हो गया.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was saying who invented industrial revolution, or who started the industrial revolution?
Sir, no idea.
Just guess, wild guess. मुझे पता है पीछे
इंग्लैंड
मरियम
सर,
जो ना
इंग्लैंड।
उमर ने गूगल सर्च कर लिया यूके. Yes,
यस सर।
right. It's basically in north of England. It started in cities like Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, Bradford, right? That is where the industrial revolution started. Now, industrial revolution is something interesting because industrial revolution में क्या हुआ कि before industrial revolution, whatever you're making by hand, right? So if you're making shoes by hand. If you're making a shirt, you're making a shirt by hand. तो उसमें होता था कि वो एक जूता जो है ना आपको मे बी 4-5 दिनों में एक पेयर ऑफ शू आप बनाते थे. एक शर्ट जो है ना शायद 3-4 दिनों में you'd make one shirt or something like that, right? But when the industrial revolution happened, people developed machines, and they started using these machines to make their clothes, shoes, whatever, and they facilitated business a lot. Uh, so before, when we were making uh, one shirt in 2 days, now in one day you are making maybe 100 shirts or 200 or 1,000 shirts. Okay. Now this was what we call the production concept or production era. In the production era, the focus was on produce. जितना आप बनाएंगे उतना आप बेच देंगे, right? Why? Because supply and demand was kind of like inverse. There was more demand and there was less supply of goods that was available in the market. So more customers were there and less products were there. So whatever you made, you sold. Okay, whatever you made, you sold, and there was this thing that came out at that time, which was called there's a saying that came out at that time, and that saying was, if you can make it, they will come, right?
सर
If you can make it.
हेलो
Yes, आवाज आ रही है यार?
सर. जी सर, ये आपने क्या पोस्ट किया, इसमें क्या टाइप आंसर करना है हमने?
कौन सी चीज यार पोस्ट की?
सर ये जो आपने किया है 11/9 पे किया है, टाइप योर आंसर इस पे करना है गूगल क्लासरूम पे.
से वाला यार, ये किस किस हेडिंग के नीचे है?
सर ये लिखा हुआ है, ये न्यू क्वेश्चन फ्राइडे जुलाई 10.
यस, ये अटेंडेंस के नीचे है ना, ये अटेंडेंस का है.
अच्छा अटेंडेंस पे है, तो सर इस पे क्या टाइप करें? नाम?
बस अपना नाम डाल दें, स्टूडेंट नंबर डाल दें, व्हाटएवर, ये खुद ब
ठीक
खुद
है
हो
सर,
जाएगा,
ठीक है सर, थैंक यू.
राइट? Yeah. So the concept was, if you can make it, they will come. Okay. This was the production, era. Focus of the company was produce. जो आप बनाएंगे वो आप बेचेंगे. Many Chinese companies are still working on this concept today, right? वो क्या करते हैं कि लो कॉस्ट प्रोडक्शन के ऊपर फोकस कर रहे हैं कि जी बस बनाओ, ढेर सारी चीजें बनाओ, लो कॉस्ट की बनाओ और मार्केट में डाल दो, क्यों कस्टमर खरीद लेंगे, राइट? Now this thing worked initially for a long time. Why? Because supply कम थी और डिमांड ज्यादा था. लेकिन as time grew, मरियम ने अपनी कंपनी खोल ली. She was making t-shirts and she started making a lot of money. नरफा ने देखा कि यार ओ मरियम ने खोली है. She opened up her factory also. She started making t-shirts. She became rich as well because the demand was there. It's a big demand, right? उधर से रुबाब ने देखा कि यार ये तो बड़ा अच्छा काम चल रहा है. रुबाब ने अपनी मेट को कहा कि जी चलो जी हम खोलते हैं, टी-शर्ट की कंपनी खोलते हैं, right? She started opening a company and she started making a lot of money, right? So a lot of people made a lot of money by opening up factories, and they started making things. Then after some time, 10, 15, 20 years, whatever, what happened was the supply went up and the demand was still there, but demand, was not growing as fast. So now we have more goods available and less uh, customers to buy those goods. So what do we do? Right? What should we do? अच्छा, up to this point in time in the production era, वो करते ये थे कि सस्ती चीज बनाई और मार्केट में बस डंप कर दिए प्रोडक्ट, right? And everything was very similar. All the things were very, very similar to each other. So then Rubab ने कहा कि यार देखिए, all of these guys are making white t-shirts, right? तो नहीं, रुबाब ने नहीं, सॉरी, रुबाब की काम वाली जो है ना, उसने रुबाब को सजेशन दिया कि देखिए बाजी जी, हम ये सारे जो है ना सफेद टी शर्ट्स बना रहे हैं, क्यों ना हम पिंक रंग की टी शर्ट बनाए, राइट? तो रुबाब ने कहा यार ये बड़ा अच्छा आइडिया, हम ऐसे करते पिंक रंग की टी शर्ट बनाते हैं, राइट? अच्छा आइडिया है ना, देखिए इसलिए आपने उसको हायर किया हुआ है, अपना रखा हुआ है, जॉब दी हुई है, राइट? वो पिंक रंग की टी शर्ट बनानी शुरू कर दी. अच्छा, when you change the product from white t-shirt to pink t-shirt, people said, "Oh, this is different. It's a different product. Let me go and buy this pink T-shirt." Right? हारिस ने क्या किया? उसने कहा कि यार ये तो हम ऐसे करते हैं, हम स्ट्राइप्स डाल देते हैं अपनी टी-शर्ट पे, right? Blue stripes or whatever, right? And people started buying those shirts because it was different, right? So this was called the product era, right? So we went from production to product era. Focus was make the product different. अगेन अगर आप चाइनीज प्रोडक्ट्स देखते हैं ना, उनमें काफी सारी कंपनियां ये काम कर रही होती है, राइट? इफ यू बाय द फोन, राइट, चाइनीज फोन के अंदर टीवी भी डाला हुआ है, उसके अंदर रेडियो डाला हुआ है, उसके अंदर सीडी प्ले, पता नहीं क्या क्या चीजें, 50 सारी चीजें उन्होंने डाली हुई है, राइट? एक फोन के अंदर ब्लेंडर भी है, मिक्सर भी है, फोन भी करता है, इट डज एवरीथिंग, राइट? यू नो द टाइप ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट, राइट? So they try to make the product different from the competitors. Okay. Now, initially this worked for a while because people were like, "Oh, okay, instead of just buying a white T-shirt, we have different options now. We've got shirts with different colors, different designs, so on and so forth." During this era, Coca-Cola was made also. Coca-Cola came during the product era, and during the product era, the interesting thing that happened was they made a lot of things which did things that did not really, do. They said these products will do things that they didn't really actually do. For example, does anybody know Coke the original function kya tha? Anybody know what is the original function of Coke? Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yes sir, वो पेशेंट्स को ट्रीट करना था, आई थिंक सर.
ओके, किस चीज का?
सर ये मुझे एग्जैक्टली याद नहीं, लेकिन मैंने पढ़ा था सर इसके बारे में.
ओके, yes, you're right, you are right about that. Originally Coke जो थी ना, दवाई थी. Is that in? Coke was a medicine, right? Or it was supposed to be healing headache, liver disease, तो पता नहीं क्या क्या. That was the thing about Coke, right?
Yes sir.
अच्छा, ये जो चीजें ना, I'm putting them down as a quiz also. So you guys will be doing a quiz online. जो पहला quiz मैंने दिया था ना last week, or 3 days ago, that was unmarked. But from now on, these quizzes will be marked, right? So what I want to do is, those people who are here, जो important चीजें ना जो मैं right पे chat कर रहा हूँ ना, if you can open your chat, those things I will put in the quiz, right? So that those people who attend the lectures, you guys can get good marks for the quiz, right?
Okay, sir.
अब क्विज में ये भी होगा कि ताहिर ने कौन से कपड़े पहने हुए थे, right? That will be a question.
वो तो भूल गया सर.
सर हमने टायर
वो टायर
भाई
क्या
तो
सर,
ले लिए।
कपड़े अभी मैं चेंज कर रहा हूँ, तो हमें नहीं पता इसने कौन से कपड़े पहने हुए थे, राइट?
तारे ने तो कैमरा ही नहीं ऑन किया अभी तक।
टायर बता दो यार।
टायर किधर ही नहीं ऑन किया था, टायर नीचे वो धोती पहनी है, ऊपर वो बनियान पहनी हुई है।
आवाज नहीं आई, दोबारा बताना। अच्छा
मैं कह रहा टायर के नीचे धोती, ऊपर बनियान पहनी हुई है। This is the $1 million question. ये क्विज में आएंगे बाय द वे, क्वेश्चन जो है ना, अब रियली सीरियस, मैंने क्विज में डालने हैं क्वेश्चन, राइट? एक और क्वेश्चन होता है कि रुबाब की जगह पे कौन बैठा हुआ था क्लास अटेंड करने के लिए? सही है ना? ओके, सो ओरिजिनल फंक्शन ऑफ कोक, रुबाब ये अभी रुबाब की जो काम वाली है ना, वो लिख रही है ना, राइट? बीच में बस बाजी को बुला लेते हैं, रुबाब बाजी आ जाए इस तरह, इसका बता दे क्या कर रहे हैं। ओके, so original function of coke was medicine. There's many things that came out at that time. They said these things will do all these things, but they didn't actually do them, right? So coke was supposed to cure headache and stomach ache and pata nahi kya kya cheezein thi. That was the original function of coke. At this point, companies made a lot of products which didn't actually do things that they did. Shuru mein, a lot of people went and bought these products because they were different, they were cool, they were, interesting, right? And this is what we call the product era, right? The product era. Then, customers realize, yeah, Coke is not really solving this product. It's not doing what it says it does, right? People, they're like, yeah, this type of shirt, for example, a yellow shirt with blue polka dots, it doesn't really suit me, right? I don't need to buy this thing. So now you had all these products who were sitting there, and people are not buying those products from you. So what do? That is when the selling focus started, the selling era, right? That's the next concept, the selling concept. In the selling concept, what companies started doing was they started employing sales techniques, right? They were doing sales earlier as well, but now the focus is on sales, right? You hire salespeople, they're going door to door and they're selling things, right? Maybe you might see some of that stuff happening in a lot of companies around the world. They're more sales focused. Unka bas ye hai ki ji becho, 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 right? The idea of sales focus is to try to sell as much as you can. वो गली में आजकल अभी भी आते हैं ना, वो उन्होंने आजकल थोड़ा सा मॉडर्न हो गए हैं. पहले वो दे यूज्ड टू बी स्क्रीमिंग फ्रॉम द टॉप ऑफ देयर लंग्स, 3 राइट?
यस सर, अब लाउड स्पीकर पे है सर.
अब वो लाउड स्पीकर, आई वाज सरप्राइज मैंने उस दिन देखा. पहले तो साइकिल पे आते थे, अब मोटर बाइक पे बंदे ने टेप रिकॉर्डर लगाया हुआ है, उसके अंदर वो लूप पे लगाया हुआ है, राइट? कुकर, प्रेशर कुकर ठीक करा लो, और ऑल दैट interesting stuff, right? That was like that is part of the selling concept, right? You try to go and sell these things to the customers, right? At this time, they hired people to go door to door, so they'll come to your house and they say, okay ji, buy this product from us. Or if you go to the store, then they'd have salespeople who would aggressively come to you and they say कि जी, yes, can I help you with something? ये आपकी जी सर, ये शर्ट आपको बड़ी अच्छी लगेगी, right? तो Tahir को they were trying to sell him this yellow shirt with blue polka dots on it, right? सर आप बड़े फिट लगेंगे इस शर्ट में, right? ये बनियान छोड़े, ये आपके लिए सही रहेगी, right? That was the selling and the sales concept. Then we had this this time when people, they stopped blocking the salespeople, right? अभी भी होता है, phone आ जाए, I get so many calls in a day. सर जी credit card ले लें, हमारी deal चल रही है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है, messages आते हैं लोग, right? So what do? I normally block those calls. I block those messages. You get those emails also, right? Which a lot of times go to spam folder, right? Because we don't really need those product or services. Um, then some smart guy realized कि यार, okay, why don't we ask the customer कि जी आपको क्या चीज चाहिए? What type of t-shirt do you need, right? And based on that uh, feedback we get from the customers, let's make the t-shirt according to the requirement of the customer. So maybe Mariam went and she asked people, Kiji, what type of shirt do you want? And maybe the people Mariam asked, they're all sports people. The sports people, they told her, Kiji, हमें shirt ऐसे चाहिए कि जो aerodynamic हो. So when we run, it makes us, it doesn't cause friction in there. It takes the sweat away from the body. So Mariam started making shirts which were designed for athletes and cricket players and things of that sort. Narfa went and she talked to business people. कि जी, आपको किस किस्म की shirt चाहिए? And the business people said कि जी, we need shirt with collars and there should be formal looking shirts जिसकी istri सही रहे and so on and so forth. So she started making shirts which were designed for that particular target audience, right? So people started going and asking customers, "Kiji, what do you want? What type of shirt do you want? What type of product you want?" And then they started making that product according to those requirements, right? That is what is marketing. Okay. So in each of these other phases, what happens is in the production phase, you focus on making lots of products at low price. Product concept, you're trying to make the product different, unique from other companies' products. Selling concept, you're focusing on just becho, 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 right? इस बंदे को चीज चाहिए नहीं चाहिए बस आप बेचो, right? In the UK, for example, I used to get these calls from these companies. Oh, we have insurance for the boat. I don't have a boat, right? So they're trying to sell me boat insurance when I don't have a boat, right? But they're just trying to sell it. No, but sir, you should buy it. Maybe if you have a boat sometime, it will be useful for you. फलाना ढमकाना, भाई बोट है ही नहीं तो मैं बोट इंश्योरेंस लेके क्या करूंगा, right? So for example, Mubin, do you have any pets?
Sir, I had German Shepherd.
You had a German Shepherd, okay. So if the insurance company, Adamji Insurance, they start contact you, sir जी हम pet insurance पे policy बड़े जबरदस्त rate चल रहा है, और आप उनको कहेंगे यार मेरा अब कुत्ता नहीं है, I don't have a dog anymore, right? But they're still trying to sell you, right? That is the selling concept, right? So that will be a question for our quiz. Okay, what type of pet did Mubin have? Right? आपको क्वेश्चन ही बता रहा हूँ क्विज के. So selling concept focus in that, but the marketing concept says let us ask the customer what do they want, right? Based on that, we will design a product or service and then we will sell it to the customer. And that is where marketing differs from the other main business strategies. Because in the other strategies, we're not asking the customer what do they want. In marketing, first we ask the customer, what do you want? And then we design a product and service, and then we try to sell it to the customer. So if Mubin says, yaar, okay, mujhe gaadi ki insurance chahiye, then Adam ji will design a car insurance and try to sell that to Mubin, right? And so on and so forth, right? So that is the key difference between marketing and the other three concepts. Now, quick question. You guys have studied marketing before, right? Have you studied this whole philosophy? How did marketing focus develop? Hello? Yeah, आप लोगों ने पहले पढ़ा है? Yes, no, maybe so.
August 12th.
Yeah, did you study about this history? How did marketing evolve?
No, sir. I think, sir. No, sir.
Okay, that's an important thing. You should have studied it. वैसे अब उसकी बात है. Um, maybe you did, and maybe you guys have forgotten. I don't know. Okay, so we will end the class for today at this point in time, right? Are there any questions for me? So let me quickly see attendance के लिए कौन कौन आया है, right? I'm going to write this down. Ubin is here. Umar is here. Rubab. अब आप लोग attendance खोल के कर सकते हैं? Why don't all of you guys just sign the attendance right now? Because then I'm going to block the attendance. ठीक है ना?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is in the next 30 minutes I'll post a quiz for you guys. Please make sure you do the quiz, right? और उसके अलावा attendance भी आज आप कर लें. Then I'll block the attendance off. Okay. We have a workshop at 4 o'clock for those of you who can join us. Please do join us. If you cannot, that's also okay. And then the next class will be next week on Tuesday at well, it's supposed to be 8 o'clock. So कुछ लोगों को मैंने WhatsApp पे ऐड कर लिया है. Yes, कुछ लोगों को WhatsApp पे ऐड कर लिया है. The rest of you, I will add you to the WhatsApp, and on WhatsApp we will discuss, you know, what timing we should have for the class.
So Tuesday वाली timing change करा.
8 बजे जो है ना बहुत लेट हो जाते हैं.
Yes sir.
Okay, so we will work on that as well. Okay. So any questions for me?
सर ये स्लाइड्स आप शेयर करेंगे साथ या बस ऐसे ही चलें?
Slides I will share with you. Yes.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है ना, इसको मैं इधर ही Google Classroom में I'll make a section and I will upload it to that section.
सर क्विज कब
ठीक
है?
है. क्विज बस अभी आधे घंटे में ऑन हो जाएगा. ठीक है ना?
क्विज का टाइम
आप लोग कर लेंगे ना. बेसिक जो लास्ट क्विज मैंने दिया था ना, now there is 369 people here. Last class also we had about 8-9 people. Lekin all 17 people have done the quiz somehow, and all 17 people have done their attendance also, right? Which is quite funny and surprising. So we don't want to carry on like this because only some people come, and you know, those people who don't come, उनकी भी attendance भी लग रही है, उनके quiz के marks भी लग रहे हैं, and so on and so forth. We need to make sure everybody attends, right? ठीक है ना? So I will post these things up in a short bit, and you will have the quiz ready to go. So have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy
इंशाल्लाह सर.
as much as you can.
आप भी enjoy करें सर.
और next है ना, I need to see everybody's video right from the start.
Impossible हो जाएगा सर.
यार लड़कियां शर्माती हैं, उनको तो समझ आती है. लड़के शर्माते हैं, ये मुझे नहीं आती.
सही है सर. इंशाल्लाह ट्राई करेंगे सर.
Right? अब मशरकी लड़के हैं. Okay guys, you take care, enjoy, have fun here.
Okay sir, thank you sir. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Okay, we'll continue discussion on WhatsApp, inshallah.
और टाइप निकल गया.
चलो कोई बात नहीं, खैर है.
क्या क्विज दिया है?